Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're going to talk about Excalibur issues 32 to 34, written by Claremont. Now, the story arc itself is called Girls' School from Heck, and it's one of the very few Claremont stories that I actually do not like. Now, I love Chris Claremont, especially during the 80s and early 90s. Maybe every once in a while, a story just wouldn't interest me that much, but I thought it was a good story or focus on a character that I just didn't find too interesting. But these 3 issues from Excalibur were rough to get through, man. And with the fact that the story just doesn't work for me, it's extremely wordy. And I ran into an issue that has happened to me very few times with a comic book story. The lettering is just terrible at moments. Like, I'm really sorry, but Tim Harkness, he's the guy that did the lettering to it. He did a terrible job. So the main premise of the story is that Kitty Pryde has to go and finish secondary school. And that's very interesting on its own, because I thought that when she was on Excalibur, she was already at least 18 years old. But she is very much still a minor in this series. So what happens is Kitty gets sent to this very posh private school. It's a all-girls school. She is bullied by the other girls at the school, and then she discovers that the school is running on hard financial times and it might end up closing. And first she wins over the other girls and she becomes friends with everyone, and she hatches up this crazy plan where they're going to replace these cheerleaders at this American football event in London. It's like this big exhibition match, and it just doesn't make any sense. Basically, Kitty and crew are going to replace the original cheerleaders at the event, and then they're going to make like a big deal out of the whole situation and call attention to the school. And you get a moment when they have already replaced the original cheerleaders, and there's just one panel that's so creepy. They are all dressed up as cheerleaders, and the angle of the panel itself comes from the bottom, so you can see up their skirts. It's really weird. Again, all these girls are minors. While all that is going on, we have like this whole B plot where it starts off with Mesro, who has started to work as a therapist, and one of his clients is actually the Queen of England. We even get this priceless moment. Like, this part of the story is actually interesting, where the Queen lives out this fantasy of being Captain Britain and being the leader of Excalibur. But then these 2 androids burst into Mesmero's practice and force him to kidnap the members of Excalibur. And you get this whole situation with Mesmero where he's like, look, I don't want to be a supervillain. Don't force me to do this. He's even like, look, I once defeated the X-Men. I had them all under my control, and I just didn't know what to do after that. So what happens is the handlers of these 2 androids that are coercing Mesmero have some nefarious plan for this American football match, which is never really explained. And what happens is, and the mysterious bad guys are actually Fenris. They're the ones behind these 2 androids. So we get this all-out battle between the members of Excalibur and Fenris, while we have Kitty doing her cheerleader thing. Mesmero gets all mixed up in the action, and then at moments, the whole situation that we're getting feels like a Benny Hill act. So at least Chris Claremont got this story out of the system, and it's a story that I'm never going to reread. Adolescent drama is not Claremont's forte. So we're going to leave this video here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.